Okay.
Just let me know when we're ready to go, because I've got a lot of snark bottled up at this point. A lot of anger. I only have 2 speeds, snark and kill.
At this point, I've got a lot of anger at just how the hell I've managed to screw this up 3 times now. Anyway, this is Sanguis and AC Guy again. We did have an endless video for you guys that we originally thought was the story level that we decided we'd record anyway, but long story short, Fraps still hates my guts. So it decided it was going to record 20 minutes of us at the menu screen and nothing of the actual game. So,
though we do have a lot of nice audio of us BSing and then none of the video of us actually playing the game. Which, I mean, well, it's good radio. It's not exactly great for us to go, oh, did you see that for 20 minutes? So, yeah, so we're not doing an endless level for a while. At least not until we figure out what kind of fucking demon we pissed off with Fraps.
Yeah. May have to do some summonings in between this. Anyway.
I know a priest, but I don't know if you'll fly to Australia to fix your computer.
At this point, I think you wouldn't even get much luck with a priest. Anyway, this was a big gap in between Thanksgiving, simply because Americans were busy and I didn't really want to chase down AC Guy while he was eating himself into a turkey coma, I assume. Or drinking himself into an eggnog coma, whatever it is you guys do.
Eggnog is disgusting, actually.
I've always liked it, but then, yeah, I've only had homemade eggnog.
It triggers my gag reflex. I don't know what it is.
Well, I've only ever had homemade eggnog that was so alcoholic you wouldn't believe it was anything but pure alcohol, so... Anyway, we're picking up where we left off from the first video, which is at the 3rd level of story mode, the Chasm. We've tried to do 2 endless levels to record, and as we just explained, that didn't work very well, so we're a bit more tooled up than we should be, but this is still mostly a blind run. We've done like the first 4 levels of this game, and it's still going to be pretty hilariously terrible when we get through it.
Though, in case you're wondering why we have so much more superpowers than we should by any definition or reason possibly have, it's because
we tried to do
recording issues means that we just kept getting endless levels and failing at endless levels.
Well, failing at recording them, we didn't do too badly at the levels themselves. Getting some of my favourite traps out again, the acid sprayer and the thing. I've also got the Mana Rage bottle, which I don't really know what it's going to do yet. It supposedly gives me a bigger mana bar and all sorts of little fun things like that, but beyond that I don't know.
I managed to get my hands on Paladins since the last video you guys were able to see, so I abused the hell out of Paladins.
Paladins are good like that though. Seriously. So that means we've now lost about 3 good rants out of you because of my computer hating us. Well, hating me. Sadly, I wish I could actually make up for that with being funny, but I'm nowhere near as funny as AC Guy is, and yeah.
I don't know, I feel like I've used all of my good material by this point.
Yeah. Like spoilers and other things that we were going to discuss.
It's time.
Speaking of spoilers, we were talking about doing, once we've finished this, if we can still stand each other doing Saints Row the 3rd, because quite frankly,
which would be a nice form of like stress relief for me. I don't know I don't know, we might end up doing it parallelist depending on how many technical difficulties we keep encountering.
Yeah, if we get many more technical difficulties, I may just be calling hiatus on this for a while until I can get shit sorted. This level is really boring because we're doing a lot better than we should. When we first did this, we had like 2 trap types and no cool abilities. But because we tried doing the endless
now
levels,
now that I have an upgraded shotgun and a blade staff, I can solo this.
Yeah, basically.
Not that soloing it is a terribly impressive thing to begin with, but basically around the time Act 2 rolls in, you need a second player.
Yeah.
Because the difficulty just goes up exponentially.
Yeah. So these paladins as well, these aren't like your normal holy light, we protect things paladins. These paladins are just, we're going to hit shit with a big sword paladins. Because of this, I love them. Because they hit shit with a big sword, AC guy loves them. As we mentioned.
I like paladins because they're pretty much just brick walls that just stop all enemy movement. My one regret is that you can no longer stack healing, the self-healing, and the stun power.
Yeah, that does sort of suck.
If they could do that, then it would be, like, literally, I would just put, like, 6 paladins right here and then go get something to drink.
We would never bother with anything but paladins.
I pretty much didn't in the first game.
Me either.
If I did a Let's Play the first game, like 80% of it would be me laughing my ass off at the paladins killing everything, and then nothing else matters.
Well, that was me. Once I got paladins and archers, that was just like, yeah, I'm good. There was nothing.
So we're probably going to go ahead and just put 3 levels into this one video, because it's not going to take us very long to get through them at this rate. Yeah. Hey, I wonder if we're going to get 5 skulls.
I wonder. I bet we will do something that will cause us to not get 5 skulls as well. Simply because...
Yeah, like you're going to jump off the cliff or something at the last minute.
Yeah. Simply because we have never managed to get 5 skulls. On our first shot of the first level, we were something like 7 seconds too slow to get 5 skulls. And yeah, since then it's been a running thing that we cannot get 5 skulls, no matter what we do. No matter how good we do it.
Don't worry about it, man. We have paladins for this.
Yes, but paladins don't always stop kobolds, which is annoying.
Well, yeah, but you weren't killing the kobolds. You were killing, like, the 4 orcs. I was the one who killed the kobold.
Well, I'm trying to kill kobolds
Fuck
as
a
well.
kobold. Did we just lose a rift point?
No, I believe we started this with 18. I do love...
And we're on the last wave.
Roasted orcs are my favorite.
Yeah.
We don't even have time for banter on this one.
No, there's not. There wasn't any time to really
Come out and
get the whole thing going either. No, we couldn't say or do much because it's all done. These levels do get a lot more interesting, I swear.
Hopefully, we can't guarantee the banter, but hopefully that'll get better as time goes on as well.
Yeah, that'll get better and worse depending on what we have
many dead all at once.
and how many times we have to retry the levels due to technical difficulties. We've already lost some actually really interesting rants from AC guys, sadly.
I'll work something in.
Although, what was the discussion we were having before? How much it would cost to buy the Mega Man franchise now that everyone hates it?
Line up.
Not everyone hates it. Everyone hates Capcom. People are boycotting Capcom. Capcom can't make a good Mega Man game. So I'm kind of wondering, how much would that cost?
Capcom can't actually
And the general
make a good
consensus is
anything
I would
game
buy
lately.
was that I would buy an AC guy made Mega Man game. Is like the main consensus from the people who have 4 skulls. No, really. What does it take to please you, game? What are we doing
We lost
wrong?
2 rift points to kobolds.
I knew a kobold slipped by us. I don't think a kobold slipped by us. I told you, man. I told you about kobolds.
Yeah, I warned you about kobolds.
Fucking told you.
Uh,
Warned you about kobold girls. Bro.
oh well. Well, we'll be continuing anyway, so we can kill more stuff. And again, it won't be too
Yep.
long. Hey, the crossing! This was a good, fun level that I really started to hate at one point.
You started to hate?
Yeah.
We did really good on this one the first time around.
Yeah, and then the second time we actually did really bad. This introduces one of my favourite things, the boulder shoots. Basically, when the level's actually going, you shoot it, and down comes all these boulders, and splat go all the enemies. It's
Yeah.
the simple things.
Yeah. There's another one up here as well.
Also, one of the things that I do like about this level it is the
I'd feel
prime
bad for
spot
the
to
orcs
actually use these
if I had any
giant
feelings.
spring traps. They're sort of... They're only situationally useful, but when you get a level where they're useful, they're just so much fun. Basically, stupid orcs will come running along here going, rah! And then this spring trap launches, and they'll go flying into this big, horrible pit of doom.
Let's begin.
And we laugh, because that's what we do. And of course, AC guy throws down more paladins, because that's what he does.
I actually really enjoy using Guardians more than anything else. As I elaborated in the endless level that you will never see because this game hates us.
Well, no, this game doesn't
Guardians
hate us,
are
Crap
actually,
hates us.
in my opinion, very much superior to a regular trap because they actually have kind of a limited AI to them that lets them differentiate targets and prioritize and chase people down. Which means if I put a paladin right here, it's like having about a third of useful as having another teammate with you.
Or just about having another me there.
So once I get like 10 paladins on the field, it's like having 6 players ready to help me. And now that I have a trinket that lets me instantly revive paladins...
Surely there's more.
All sorts of fun comes from that.
Why walk when you can ride? It's time.
Now hopefully we'll actually see something get flung off these spring traps, and hopefully, even more hopefully, they won't land on this other walkway, because I've managed that before.
That's why there's a paladin.
I've actually managed that in the first game where I decided to set up spring traps, and these guys, Null Hunters, we love and hate them. They will utterly rip us to shreds, but they don't have a lot of hit points, and if I decide to mind control them, they will do exactly the same to our enemies. So when we see them coming, we cheer and cry in terror because, well, as you would have seen in the missing endless level, when you get 4 of them...
Yeah, we pretty much just got involved in a Knoll gangbang.
Let's do
Yeah.
it again.
It was...
Starring my face and about 50 Knolls.
And your paladins. Because that's the other thing.
Yeah, no, I had a wall of
Now it's
paladins.
time.
That was like, there was like 11 paladins in it. 4 Knolls dissembled that shit because an ogre came in and stunned them for like 5
Ah,
seconds.
there we go. They went flying off the edge. I actually quite like the... I like the mechanical non-slicing traps, simply because they do things like have hilarious ragdoll physics.
They're almost there!
Oh, what? We just got one let through because I shot him with a rocket launcher and it counted as sending him through the rift.
At this rate, they'll run out of.
How did you manage
know.
that?
I must have shot him that far that he actually went into that bottom rift.
They just flew over the bridge.
That's pretty cool.
I want some more.
See, that is one of the things. That's like, sort of like a
Welcome to
comic
my
book villain.
lair.
If you give me ridiculously oversized traps that don't really serve any purpose but look cool while they're working, I will take that every single time. It's like the old Evil Genius game. I used to love that game simply because the trap setup was so much fun. Not very effective.
Oh god, there's more Knolls. Knolls! Yes! Yes! Oh, we just lost the coins from that Knoll, though.
Well, I have to admit, seeing a Knoll go flying is well worth losing the coins. Ooh, also, here's the other cool thing.
That's because you weren't buying paladins.
Here's the other cool thing. When I'm using Mana Rage, see how quickly my mana regens? It's worn off now. When I'm using Mana Rage, I can pretty much shoot my secondary fire for my rocket launcher endlessly. It's just, that's how quickly it does it.
I need no rest.
I suppose I should really stop just putting spring traps around and put
What a
some proper,
delightful trap.
like, burny,
Fresh hell
killy,
is this?
choppy sort of traps around, but yeah.
I can't really speak because I'm just putting paladins down.
Yes, but paladins.
I just realized that's not really good television, but it is like
I don't
good
know.
strategy.
I'm quite enjoying watching these springboard traps do their business, but I mean, yeah, it's sort of a toss-up. It's one of those things that never really gets old for me. I can sit there and watch it all day, every day. Twing, twing. I don't know how enjoyable this is for other people to watch, seeing them go flying, but, you know.
It's definitely more
he
satisfying when
landed
something
right in
you do
front of the
yourself.
That's the other thing. Sometimes these just work so perfectly that they drop them right in front of a paladin and we get to laugh. Because the paladin will just look down and use that giant piece of metal in their hands for rather dastardly purposes.
A momentary pause.
And by dastardly, he means awesome.
Such a delight.
It isn't dastardly when we do it because we're the heroes.
Well, I always thought that the sorceress was at most an anti-hero, because she really is still evil.
More.
Oh, I don't really care about the sorcerer. I'm
Yeah.
saying in general. I mean, it's not exactly hard for us to be the heroes when our competition for the title is the
Yeah.
orcs.
And all they want to do is get in and destroy the nice, well, semi-destroyed land of wherever. Because I think, as we've mentioned before, there's never any name put to this place you're in. It's just...
At least not
This
yet. We haven't
land.
beaten the game yet. Maybe there's like some more world building going on towards the end of it, but
Line up for me, please.
somehow I doubt it.
It's sort of like Firefly, and we shall call it this
Bonus
land,
skulls.
because that's as far as they have ever named it as far for us. I really do have to stop myself from just.
Okay, there's 3
giggling all the
paladins down
time
here.
The spring traps go off. I know it's not very enthralling for people to watch, but it's
Too
just,
soon.
for some reason, it's just one of those things that I crack
love
up
the
at
smell
every
of
time.
brimstone in the morning.
Some things just don't get
For
old,
me, it's
like Batman's parents.
yeah.
I will enjoy
Oh, wow,
this.
that's harsh. It is very true, though. And the one other thing that doesn't get old for me is watching
Hold them back.
string traps at work. You know, I always thought,
Go, minecart, go!
as always, we've got for the first act, we have our minecart MVP. That actually, when we get to the chasm level, I think it is.
So
No, not chasm
pretty
level. This is
dead
chasm
all
level.
in a row.
I can't remember the name of it now. The tunnel.
I need to put that on a t-shirt. I vote minecart for
Yeah.
MVP.
Well, when we get to the tunnels level, we actually have 3 minecarts, and it is just so hilarious to watch these minecarts tearing into a big pile of enemies. Now, here's what I was talking about before. I can pretty much rapid fire this flat cannon, and it just while Mana Rage is going, it just doesn't run out of ammo because it uses your mana bar.
That's a
Yeah,
game.
that's another short level because pretty much the first dwarves. Dwarves are guardians that I sort of like. They're useful but not overly awesome. I mean, their bombs are really good fun, but yeah. It's one of those things where you can where I can take them or leave them.
They aren't really good enough for me to recommend them. The only reason you should be using, I would use dwarves, is if you don't have archers yet, which we only got like most of the way through the Act 1 before discovering how incredibly bad our problems were as far as the tech side of thing goes with the recordings.
Largely because
But,
you could not even hear us talk, and
Yeah, we didn't have the archers.
don't actually know when we get archers
Like,
either.
at
They're
all.
further on, but It's
Yeah.
locked for story reasons. Actually, this is one thing I should have a look. Ha! This is something that's useful. Secondary attack for the Dwarven Missile Launcher takes less mana. Something that I quite like because it means I can spam it even more.
I have at this point fully upgraded my blunderbuss. And I'm about to fully upgrade my blade staff.
And he's already fully upgraded
And
his
as we
paladins.
and I haven't quite fully upgraded the paladins. There's one more health bonus,
Ah.
but I don't really need it yet.
Now this is another.
And I've learned from the first time in this map, I'm not putting all of my paladins by the front door
because
this time.
Sappers suck. This is another level specific
Seriously.
one that I quite like, the hanging bomb. If you can hold them up, like say if you have a paladin standing here and he's hacking away at orcs, when you get a big mob of enemies hanging underneath one of these, you shoot it and it drops down and you end up with just this huge explosion of death and destruction.
Yeah, and I'm glad. And part of the reason why I've gotten and left all of the trap things to Sang and gone with the purely offensive route in the son of a... I forgot to get the new... I have a new slot and I keep forgetting to equip a new thing to it.
I'm actually going to take freeze traps this time as well because in the endless level that again we lost, or I lost, I saw just how awesome these things really are.
Is that a draft?
Freeze traps.
What are they?
Freeze enemies and stop them.
Oh, the freeze traps,
Basically, I
yeah.
put them in front of...
I'm just going to park a paladin right here, right up until the sappers start to show up, and then I'm going to move them back, because by that time I should have enough money that I can just get a bunch of paladins.
Which...
It's like setting up a
And
giant
that's
meat
pretty
grinder.
much everything AC guy ever wants out of this game. A pile of paladins.
And something else that he didn't mention, he didn't mention, was these Mayan carts. Is now they also
Lava.
have this
Yeah.
lava thing
If we
built up
shoot
on
them, they will
people.
drop lava.
Let me go and show that off real quick while I deal with these orcs.
I'll try and find one running along. Ah, here we go. Little fiery minecart. Drops fire on enemies.
The problem is, it's really hard to get it to aim properly. It's really hard to aim
that's
those
sort
properly.
of why you need paladins up the front here, because it lets you have a lot more time to aim them, but then paladins up the front here are just a good target for sappers. And as always, I'm running around using my favourite spell of all, which is Dominate, because, I mean, what's not to love about a spell that takes control of an enemy, makes them beat their friends up and then die horribly because they've lost all their hit points as soon as it runs out.
On a related note, we're the good
we
guys.
are the good guys in this, somehow.
I'm going to mind rape you and make you murder all of your friends. By the way, I'm the hero of this story.
See, I don't know. I think that the War Mage is the hero of the story, and the Sorceress is just sort of
The
there.
sweet burn of acid. How
Yeah,
I
The
love
not villain.
Honestly, not a villain.
Sappers! Sappers! All of the sappers. I hate these
Not
guys
as
so
Jake
much.
Knowles, though. But that's another entire thing.
Yeah. The one good thing about putting all these sappers in the game is now I get to kill them for
Yeah.
being sappers.
I'll drop this big bomb now because I think, as you can see, it does a very good job of killing everything that gets caught under it.
Line up for me, please.
They're attacking a barricade!
And sadly, as you can see, barricades, while they are a good idea, really do suck in practice. They don't absorb enough damage.
All mine.
Well, to be fair, those... Oh, you just got a barricade destroyed? The barricades in the first game were a lot better. When you actually get the ability to place barricades down, one of the things you can do is make
Yeah.
they're a lot stronger.
You can also use them to direct enemies. I mean, we could direct enemies, we could cut off these side routes, and as long as the enemies don't get too congested, they will keep running through. So if we wanted to, we could put a big paladin wall right down the back here, and then just decide that we were going to throw,
So many dead all at once.
I don't know, barricades here to funnel them in, which was one of my favourite tricks of the last game as well.
Close off routes, then they go through, and then you get to compress your traps a
Or
lot
your
more.
Guardians, because as we both said before, we just abused the hell out of upgraded paladins and archers. I only really bothered with archers.
Well, I'm sorry, but they give you a giant I win button, and it's kind of hard to feel sorry for these orcs. I mean, like, when they talk about, oh, look, just look beyond, like, the portal, and you see just how shitty their world is. That's what they're going to do to us if they get through.
In the first game, they were really annoying with some of the lines they used to say.
But now they don't have any lines, and I think I preferred talkie orcs more to non-talkie orcs.
Justified in killing
It
them.
was kind of, like, charming in its own way.
Line up.
I always felt like it always made me feel more justified in my
Well, they had more personality.
cleansing of them.
My favorite one.
Not that it's a very good thing to feel proud of, that you're supposedly killing off pretty much an entire race, but hey, they had it coming to them.
Or did they? I don't know, they might have a plot twisted here. This doesn't strike me as the kind of game that's that deep to have some kind of meaningful plot twist if maybe they were the monsters all along. Considering, you know, it's called Orcs Must Die.
See, I'd expect it if there was any sort of brain function to the War Mage beyond, hey, look, I can put all sorts of cool traps down. But, yeah, I mean, they don't really make the War Mage out to be very smart. The most you can really say that there'd be a plot twist is the fact that, well, spoilers here for anyone who might be interested in playing the game, but honestly they tell you in the first 5 seconds. The Sorceress was controlling the Orcs in the first game, although not that she really needed to because they were all going to run at the rifts anyway. But for some reason...
Well, no, because she could control them and make them her army. The thing is that as they just kind of want to destroy everything, but the way they were going to want to do what she wanted them to do, which was conquer everything, which is moderately better from a certain point of view. That point of view being that without a complete psychopath.
Oh, look at that combo. That is the other cool thing. These boulder shoots will recharge, so I can sit there and as long as we can tie them up there, we can keep blowing them up there.
A paladin has fallen. Ooh, brutal.
Now this is one thing that I really do need to upgrade. You can upgrade your rocket launcher to do more damage and stun on hit, which is something that I think would really be quite fun to have, where it already does a heap of damage, so why not make it do more damage?
Something from my collection.
I will enjoy this.
Is there any limit to my genius?
Now, I have actually found that these floor traps are a lot better than I used to give them credit for, and I really do enjoy them now, because where normally the enemies would run through your traps and only take a small amount of the damage done by them, when the floor traps actually go off and freeze them there, they'll take the full damage from 1 or 2 rounds of the floor trap. And yeah, having that much damage being put on them because they're frozen is a lot of fun.
They're in the West Hall.
Hang on a second, need to pause it for a moment.
I might as well mention now while Sang's away from the keyboard, leaving the game on pause, and I can only assume still recording because I'm just ranting into the mic here, is that if you like watching us, God knows why, but if you do, and you would like us to see us do some other game, we do take a prize. If you are willing to throw money at us to let us keep up our crippling game addiction, you horrible, horrible people doing this for your amusement, we do take bribes. If someone's willing to like buy games for us or send money to help support the cost of recording, uploading, that sort of thing, we will make more videos. And if you like are actually willing to go as far as to actually buy a game, we will do that game specifically. I mean, we're gonna try and do some anyway, but like the more crap you guys throw at us, the more inclined we are to do it for various reasons. One being that then we have more time and resources to devote towards these sort of things and making the actual product a higher quality thing on your end, and because we are shameless whores.
Cut where I say I've got to go and that. Anyway, we're rolling, so we'll figure it out. As to anyone wondering, I had random wallaby invasion.
Okay. Yeah, he had issues on his end or whatever, so we had to pause for like 10 minutes. That's why there's probably an audio and visual stutter right there, and the actual recording of the video.
There will be a rant from AC guy. Nothing huge, but
That was
just a little bit.
entertaining.
But yeah,
I'm feeling playful.
random wallaby invasions. They happen.
Begin
believe
the
it or not.
lesson.
Oh, that's right. This is one of the waves that generally we dislike because there's lots of kobolds. We don't mind sappers because we get to kill them and they explode nice. Kobolds
So
just suck.
many pretty dead all in a row.
Actually, in this level, they can't get past the giant barrier, so it's not a big deal. So I
There
put
is that.
paladins right next to it. Oh wait, no, they can go right over the barriers. Never mind.
They just ignore barricades. That's fine.
Goody goody. That's exactly what we need. Less effective control measures for
Well, to be
fucking
fair, it'd be
kobolds.
pretty OP if you could just throw a couple of barricades down and kobolds couldn't get through.
At this rate, they'll run out of orcs.
One thing I might as well mention here now that we've got a minute is that Slay and I are both members of a Steam group called the Consortium of Gentle Gamers. The main focus of that is kind of to create kind of a fun like group thing.
Insects.
Because I mean, like you play online, and it's like half the time you're up with a bunch of kids who normally play Halo because their parents can't afford proper babysitters.
And we all know how much we despise them.
So I mean, instead of gaming with So instead of playing with assholes, you have a chance to play with people who enjoy games and actually at least pretend to be mature and enjoy
Because
their hobby
while
and
AC Guy
everything.
and I do enjoy games.
And that was the main idea
while
behind the
we do enjoy
consortium thing.
gaming,
Not because I
we
mean,
are not really mature. We will pretend
Yeah,
to be
okay.
if we have to be, but we're not.
well, my point of view of this, as far as the consortium goes, and that is basically you can teach someone to be a better
Well,
player,
not
but you can't
only
really teach them to be a better
generally it
person.
requires,
Fear me.
baseball bats and kneecaps and things like that.
It requires a stick, smack, badass,
Pretty
bad,
much.
stop being a dick.
At this rate, they'll run
The best
out of
cure for
orcs.
Halo
Oh,
players, though, is to make them play Counter-Strike or something. There is the Penny Arcade one summed up the best, the comic where they're talking about when they went all to play the free Rainbow Six demo. That one time, because like they gave it free to all Halo players. So you had on one hand all of the people who normally played tactical shooting games,
Yeah.
and then the Halo players. Who would do things
And
like
wonder
charge the
why
enemy
they suddenly
team with a
get
shotgun
lanes
or
past the wall. Of course, to anyone who actually plays tactical games, that is just hilarious.
So much wonderful death.
Now these little brimstone traps, they are really among my favourites. I say that about a lot of traps, but these ones really are. Simply because they're quick to reload and they burn and burn and burn and burn and burn some more, and then maybe let the enemy get off fire for a couple of seconds so that they can set them back on fire.
So many dead all at once.
Having said that though, I really do like the sorceress more than I like the war mage in this game, because domination is just so overpowered. I have fun turning.
Normally, I would say that I enjoy something like that a lot more, but the thing is that the War Mage is actually a more versatile character, where the Sorceress is a lot more mana, but she doesn't have nearly as much as far as health goes. So, like, you can't take a hit, you can't wait in there, you can't really take the shotgun and wait in like you can the same way you can with the War Mage. Which is kind of irritating.
You can't halo it.
What?
I don't know, you get...
You can't really do that anyway.
Blade staff, you can. Just run around chopping things to pieces. Really?
I have the upgraded blade staff. It's not quite that good.
The first game was actually really quite overpowered when you upgraded it. And this may be where we get 5 skulls. I doubt it though. Ah!
Nope.
32 seconds too slow.
You should know the game isn't allowed to give us 5 skulls.
That's the reason.
Seriously? Is that the reason, or are you just fucking with me? Okay. Yeah, so real quick, if you guys are interested in joining the consortium and failing at games along with Sang and I in more casual context, or some of the other members, then you can talk to either of us on Steam, shoot us a message or something. I mean, it is invite only, but that's mostly just so that random assholes can't join the group and troll us or something. We're pretty much permissive, and so, like, if you want in, we'll let you in, but if you fuck with us, we just give you the boot, and that'll be the end of the story.
Yeah.
But I think that will be it for this video. You'll be seeing us next week, but Sang and I...
Yeah, a couple more levels just
we'll probably keep going after this for just a little bit.
Well, over Christmas and that, not in case of Christmas.
Actually have a buffering... Yeah. Actually have a buffer ready, so that things aren't terrible.